Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's Qvinci webinar for franchises and multi-location operators. Discuss year-end consolidation. Appreciate you taking time to join us today as we discuss this topic. And it looks like we still have some folks joining, but it is the top of the hour, so we're going to go ahead and get the ball rolling here. And thanks again for joining. My name is Marty De Los Santos. And I'm an account executive with Qvinci, and I'll be hosting today's webinar. I do want to point out, throughout the webinar, we will be utilizing the chat feature via this web sharing service. So if you do have any questions, do have a couple colleagues that will be helping us to man the chat questions, feel free to type away throughout the session. At the end of the webinar, we'll also open up for some additional Q&A time and onto you there as well. So again, discussing today's topic, again, as you see on your screen, Qvinci, or franchise and multi-location operators, year-end consolidation. Let's go ahead and get the ball rolling here. So again, we do have some named clients, select clients that are currently utilizing the Qvinci application. Here you see a list of some of those clients, some logos that may be very familiar to some of you regarding some of these clients that are currently utilizing Qvinci. And kind of covering what we're going to go through today is, an overview of the application itself, navigating functionality, reporting, dashboard, and so forth. And really, how to use Qvinci to simplify reporting, how to use non-financial filters to streamline reporting, getting your account set up and the admin of it, creating your own custom standard chart of accounts, of course, consolidation reporting, and getting your franchisees on board as well. So a little bit about who we are. Again, we are a global leader in the field of financial reporting. We do have automated syncing with QuickBooks, both their desktop and online solutions, with Xero, with MYOB, and we can also manually sync from Excel, and we can consolidate thousands of files in a matter of seconds, or even sometimes even in a fraction of a second. We are a reporting partner for the Intuit franchise program, so if you go to their website, we actually are the reporting solution that they recommend for financial gathering and for consolidation. So again, powerful tool for multi-location operators as well as those in the franchise space. Excuse me. And we also work with bankers, investment specialists, accountants, and bookkeepers, nonprofits, and associations. And so it's a pretty widespread audience that can utilize and gain value from our solution. We are headquartered in Austin, Texas, which is where I'm sitting right now. We've been around since 2007. Earlier this year, back in April, I believe it was, we were awarded our first major patent from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, around our consolidation technology and our account mapping technology. So we're going to take a look at the application itself. So I'm going to share my screen and discuss a few things regarding our actual solution as it relates to year-end consolidation and utilization within the franchise and multi-location space as well. All right, so you should be seeing my screen now has Qvinci and dashboard. So this is the landing page when you first log into Qvinci. And just kind of the hierarchy of the application, the way it works. Up in the top left where you read Qvinci, this is the account level of the application. We can white label this for your organization. So when you log in, when your franchisees log in, or your different location owners or operators log in, they know they're getting into the right spot. Next, we have what's called the company level, which my demo company that we'll be showing today is a multi-store franchise. And then we get down to what we call the location level, which if I click on filter locations, I can see I got numerous locations that make up this particular company. And in our demo site, we happen to use city and state to define our locations, but of course, you can use the appropriate nomenclature, a DUNS number, that really helps you to signify, which store is it? Is it store 1? Is it store number 405? Or however you at your different locations. we're looking on the screen is what we call the dashboard. High-level overview of the application. Certain reports that do appear on the dashboard. We call these widgets. Also, you may hear us from time to time term it as the coffee and donuts view of the application. The widgets are set as far as what's available. Each user can determine which widgets they want enabled or disabled, as well as even where they want them laid out on his or her particular dashboard as well. But really the meat that you'll really find within Qvinci, especially as it relates to today's topic, is going to be within the reporting piece of Qvinci. On reporting, so in the body of the page, we see different reports that are available currently from Qvinci. On the far right, we have a list that's called what we call memorized reports. And a memorized report, so basically you've created a report. Maybe you've even added some key filters for that report, a certain time frame, and it could be a report that you may run every day, every week, monthly, whatever that frequency is. And last thing we want you to do is to have to go reinvent the wheel every time you want to generate. So create the report, memorize it, give it a name that and just moving forward, single click on that report, and here you go. I'm going to kind of quickly walk through again. So we're talking about year-end consolidation. There's multiple ways that you can accomplish that with Qvinci. So I'm going to start by just selecting a P&L report, different frequency options that are available if I wanted to run it by year. And again, from a consolidation standpoint, is it your entire ecosystem, your entire environment, or is it a couple locations, a few locations at a time? So we do have again on this filter locations, clear this just to start from scratch. I can look at the locations and hand pick which ones do I want to show. Maybe I just want to consolidate Austin and Boise for this particular purpose by year. I want to this calendar year, this fiscal year. Again, if your fiscal year does not follow the calendar year, you can define that within Qvinci and generate it for your fiscal year. Want account mapping enabled or disabled? What account mapping is, so if you have multiple locations, I imagine each location is probably generating their own part of accounts. Things that may be even though there are a lot of similarities, there may be some things that are different that really do mean the same thing. For example, some locations call it rent, some call it lease, some call it office rent. Rather than having those delineated separately on a consolidated P&L, let's group those together. And that's some of the technology that Qvinci has in place, where you can actually select a template standard chart of accounts in Qvinci to account. Or if you have one that you're currently utilizing for your organization already, send that over to us, and we'll import that into your account. That way all of your locations are following the standard template that you have in place. I'm going to go ahead and just build this report. Again, it takes a fraction of a second. I'm consolidating Austin and Boise. Here are those consolidated numbers. Currently it's year-to-date, consolidating for 2015 based on the time frame I've selected. But here's the P&L. Again, it's mapped. It takes really a fraction of a second to create that report. If you wanted to, maybe if you break out your organization by regions or through some other filtering means, we can do that as well. So I'm going to clear what we have right now. And on the left-hand side of this page, we have what are called quick filters. We've also termed these as properties within the application. You can have up to 20 custom properties for your organization. That really kind of helps you to how you want to divide or how your organization may be divided today. So for example, in my demo here, region happens to be a custom filter that we've defined for our demo site. So if I wanted to generate a report specifically for the North region, I want to run a consolidated report just for the North region, apply my filters, this exact same report just got created for the North region. Now it's included, the North region is made up of these locations. So I know who's included in this particular report as well. So again, I was able to select just a couple locations or a few locations manually, or if I'm utilizing our filtering tools, I can break it out based on those filters as well. And of course, clear all filters, all locations. If I want to run it for my entire environment, here we go. These are the same numbers for all my locations in my environment. So again, whether you're consolidating a few by certain group or properties, that help you to define your organization, or for the entire environment, you can do all that within Qvinci. Consolidation standpoint as well, maybe for your purpose, you want to not only see it combined, but maybe you want to see it broken out side by side. So we can look at it by location as well. Again, not changing the time frame just for this, from demo standpoint. Or I could also select a custom date range in addition to maybe your fiscal year, or something you wanted to run from January to January, or February to January, whatever your time frame is. You can define your custom date range as well. Still hit build my report. Now my column headers are each of my locations that are within my environment for this particular time frame. It is the full P&L that we're looking at here as well. And on the far right, we still do get our totals as well, year-end standpoint, my environment. Again, very quick and easy to create your reports looking at totals, whether you're following a fiscal year or you're following the calendar year is your fiscal, whether you want it by locations, some of your locations, all your locations, grouped by region, grouped by some other means that you may want. Maybe you want to consolidate all of your, if you're a quick service restaurant, all of your restaurants that have drive-thrus versus all the ones that do not have drive-thrus. So again, a lot of different ways that you can define custom filters within your environment that are really relevant just for your organization as well. And of course, every report at Qvinci can be exported to Excel for further analysis. Again, if you've applied some key filters and you want to save this report and not have to recreate it every time, memorize it, give it a name. We are adding functionality here on December 7th. We're adding our custom report builder as well. What that's going to do, it's going to also include PDF and a customized function that will basically open up this report within a spreadsheet within the application, and give you the tools to be able to, maybe you want to eliminate certain columns, certain rows, you want to provide, you want to include maybe certain multipliers or certain formulas to create your own KPIs off these reports as well moving forward. That functionality will be available as well come December 7th. Some other tools, again, part of what we do from a standpoint is, the reporting is very key, but another key aspect of how we're really helping organizations to be able to even get this data is, how are we gathering it from your franchisees? One, with our automated syncing process, it really helps to pull in this information from your franchisees, and we want to make sure that the data is coming in is intact. So one of our tools that's going to help you to know that is our health check feature. Again, chances are you don't have rights to your franchisees' files that are coming in, but you want to make sure that they are correct. Now, typically, the best scenario, what we're going to look at here is our health check feature. This is looking for any kind of corruptions or any kind of anomalies in the files that are coming in, so things that aren't really balancing for that matter. Typically these will be zero in the proper environment. If they're not, then we've got a tool that's here to help you to know, well, where is it not correct? What files that have come in that are not correct, or there is some possible corruption. Like, for example, if I wanted to look at the balance sheet, click here to view the details, I can quickly see which of my locations, what time frame, and what's really going on. So total assets do not equal total liabilities and equity. All right, now I'm not making this edit within Qvinci to fix this. This gives me an opportunity to reach back out to that location, that franchisee, to say, hey, looking back at July of 2015, here's the issue. What happened? And it could be something very, very innocent. Hey, you know what? I went back and opened the books for that month to add something, and I forgot to add it twice, or whatever the case could be. So it does create that. But again, the key thing here is it gives you a way to know that is the information I'm getting, is it correct? And that's via the tools, via our health check piece. And running reports out of Qvinci is very similar, regardless of which tool you're going to select. Balance sheet all follows some similar functionality, similar date range or custom date range. You're going to have account mapping enabled or disabled. And just to restate it, run it by your entire environment. You can manually select locations. You can custom filters that you've defined to help select what you want to consolidate. Run it for the calendar year. You can run it for the fiscal year. If you happen to follow like a July to June fiscal year, generate your year-end consolidation for your fiscal year. Right. So I'm going to go back to looked at the dashboard. Talked about creating memorized reports. Standard chart of accounts mapping. Again, we have templates that are available, but if you have your own that you've defined and you're utilizing, we can import that for you. The properties that you see here, these are the custom filters that we've defined. And you can do ranking and benchmarking reports. Again, the automation with QuickBooks and Xero and MYOB, it is automated daily file sync. And again, we're really making it easy for your franchisees to get the data to you. So we're not adding any more burden to them. It's actually simplifying what they do on a day-to-day basis as well. We can sync up to 36 months of data, and to that point, every time it syncs, it'll sync up to 36 months of data. So we want to make sure we go back and capture. Again, did one of the locations go back and reopen a month from earlier in the year? You want to be able to still capture that information within your Qvinci. Or we're a reporting partner for the Intuit franchise program, and our application is available in Intuit App Center as well. And we can talk about our patented technology. Again, really what we do, gather, we manage multiple files in a single place. Automated, data sync and sync by class. So if you are running, QuickBooks, online or desktop, we can sync by the class level as well. We do actually have a client, syncing a single file, but has 60 to 65 classes in that file. So he wanted to sync by file to break out those classes individually. So from that standpoint, his classes actually become his locations with count. And to that point as well, from a consolidation standpoint, your entire environment does not have to be using the same accounting application. You may have some that are using QuickBooks Desktop, Premier, Enterprise, Pro, one of their solutions. Some that are using QB Online, some that may be using Xero. You may have some that are just utilizing Excel, or if they're utilizing another application, they do have to bring it into Excel currently to get that into Qvinci. We can still consolidate from those multiple sources within our application. Mapping to a standardized chart of accounts, talked about that in a moment. There a moment before. Have our templates. You can utilize a template that you already have in place. And once something is mapped, it remains mapped. If you're generating your reports down the road after you've gone through the account mapping process and you're still seeing things appearing as unmapped, well, that's because locations or franchisees have added a new item to their chart of accounts that needs to be mapped. There's tools within Qvinci how you can map those moving forward. Numerous standard reports that are available, and disable the balance sheet if necessary. We do have pure benchmarking reports, ranking reports. You can on there as well. Again, just to restate though, we do have some key features coming out here next month related to our custom report builder and a few other features as well, which I'll show a screen what's coming out as well. If any of you are on our newsletter, we talked about those in our newsletter that was just out last Friday. So again, file level security. You have numerous locations, numerous franchisees that will come on board. Our service allows for unlimited users. So, there's no cost based on the number of users, and users only have access to what their own store basically. So whatever they're providing information for, they only have access to that. Now we do come across some clients that may have area managers, district managers that may be they're not the franchisor, but maybe they're managing few locations, or they're supervisors for a few locations. If they need access, then you can provide them access to those particular locations as well. No cross view. There's no way for one location to know the numbers of another location. It is all held anonymous, especially when you're generating our peer benchmark. And, dashboard, file verification, that's that health check, daily or weekly financial reports, snapshot emails. So how do you use it? So there is flexibility to create the reports that you want to see using the properties with quick filters that are important for you. So here's some examples of some of those filters or custom filters you can create. Top revenue generators in certain region, most profitable locations with a drive-through, franchisees with best expense ratios, best year-over-year profitability, franchisee with lowest staff costs, large charitable donations. So again, just examples of what we've seen for existing clients, and really what you can define for yourself. And so you can get very creative with those custom filters, to create things that are, again, important for your organization that you want to be able to report against moving. Okay, so what do we do? Again, financial consolidation, it really is, again, it's the process of combining financial data from multiple departments or business entities within an um, franchisors. Again, you're looking at, your tax reporting preparation, annual reporting, investors, executives. For the franchisees, again, your franchisees have access as well, and be able to create their own reports. Our automated syncing process, automates your item 19 process. Tax reporting preparation, updates, and then multi-location operators. Again, your tax reporting, investor reporting, manager reporting. The key thing is, so regardless of which level you're really at, there's a lot of value that you find with our solution, being able to create reports that are relevant for you. Peer benchmarking is something that can be opened up to your franchisees as well. It is anonymous. Let's just touch on that real quick. Peer benchmarking. I wanted to see a P&L. I want to compare it to the top 10% this calendar year. Build my report. So again, I'm the franchisor. This is my peer benchmark report. I want to see how my locations compare to my top 3. If I happen just to be the Austin owner, and I want to generate this report myself, how it would look for me. So I just see my location. I know that there are 3 stores that make up this top 10%, but I have no idea who they are. So again, there's no way to accidentally backdoor in to know whose data is being utilized from a peer benchmarking standpoint. Talked about some additional features that are coming out. Again, for those who may not have seen the newsletter, real quick, this is really what we're looking at here. So again, custom report builder. Really, create your own KPIs off the balance sheet, off the P&L. Export to PDF functionality as well. Alerts, snapshots that show financial status as well as targets and thresholds. Trial balance for accountants, pro forma for everyone. The pro forma is basically going to, it's going to take the peer benchmarking information and allow you to really, create some targets and thresholds for the locations as to, hey, you know what, I want to operate more like a top 10% location. So I'm going to utilize, what they're doing as my targets that I want to use as well. Whether I need to increase some, revenue in areas or maybe decrease expenses in other areas. So I've got some targets and threshold areas that I want to really, have the system map for me and help me track, every month. So, for example, I'm doing 100,000 right now a month in sales, and the top 10% are doing 150. Well, I don't have far to go, but I want to track how I'm doing. So, if we're the 15th of the month, it's going to let you know on a color-coded basis. Are you at 75,000 or more or less? And if you're at 75,000 or more, because your target is 150, that status bar is going to be green. If you're less than that, the status bar is going to be red, because again, we're halfway through the month and you're not halfway there. So again, these are tools, and we'll have some more information coming out as these dates get closer as far as the release dates go. But just to know, these are some areas that are coming out. Again, if you're on our newsletter, you will have received that information from us in part of the body of that newsletter as well. And so how does it make your life easier? Saves time to automated daily financial consolidation and file health check. Again, daily automated sync. Again, we're less burden for your franchisees to get the data to you, a lot less burden for you to have to call on those franchisees and remind them to get the data over for you as well. The health check feature, again, make sure the files are not corrupt. At-a-glance monitoring as well with key metrics, sign in, reduce confusion and streamlines reporting with dynamic mapping to a standard chart of accounts. Again, one location calls it lease, one calls it rent, one calls it office rent, one calls it rev, one calls it revenue. Rather than having this P&L that's consolidated that has way too many lines to really do anything with, let's consolidate that into a standard template, whether it's one of ours that we already have built in or something that you well. Again, top performers utilize the peer benchmarking. and helps those that want to get there to create those conversations. Like here's what they're doing. Where can we find some improvement to help you as well? And again, key thing with that as well, you're really knowing how a location is performing from not just from a sales standpoint, but from sales may be great, but are their expenses still a little too high where there's some cause for concern? Again, promotes goal alignment through unlimited logins and reporting dashboard, reports and software reporting structures through the use of non-financial filters. Those custom filters, again, ways that you want to slice and dice your organization from a reporting standpoint. Daily file syncing, and again, of course, year-end consolidation with a push of a button. Multiple ways, as we showed earlier, how to do that by location, multiple locations, 2 locations, 3 locations, your entire environment. So again, for Qvinci, again, you can also submit a review of our solution as well. We can be happy to buy you a cup of coffee or send you one of our new Qvinci T-shirts. Here's just information of how you can go out doing that, going through the QuickBooks App Store and submit your post. And as soon as your post, we'll send you a Starbucks card or a shirt. Of course, feedback does play a critical role in our development process. What we're telling clients, what clients tell us both here in the sales office and our existing clients is very key for us as well. Here's some other information on how you can get information. And everything. By the way, everything we have here today this is being recorded. It will be put on our website. You'll also get a link to this webinar sent to you via email as well. Looks like we're having some internet connectivity issues here at Qvinci. I do apologize to that. The recording that I'm doing, I'm hoping will still stick. But either way, we'll make sure we provide you with the full information on the PowerPoint deck that I'm utilizing. We will make it available on our website, but we'll also send you guys out a link to today's as well. Like to be able to address any kind of questions that you have via chat. But again, with our internet connectivity down, it's not really allow us to do so. Bear with us, maybe hold on 1 minute or two until we see if comes back up. We can do that as well. Not sure if it's going to force me to restart ReadyTalk program that we use for our web sharing or not when connectivity is made again. I think it may be back up. I think I'm going to change the slide, make sure everybody. Okay, I apologize, folks. Looks like we're still struggling to get make sure our internet is getting. All I'm hearing. If you have any questions, probably at this point in time, the best way to get questions over to us that we're more than happy to address for you is sending them directly to sales@qvinci.com. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, I may be reconnected. Let's double check this here. Just changed my screen to the thank you screen. So chat should be up and available again. So I think we're solid here. So please feel free if you have any questions at this point in time to submit those via chat. Of course, you can also, as you see on the screen in front of you, go to our website. You can submit any questions directly to sales@qvinci.com. And if you want to try out the website, the demo that I was utilizing is free and available just with some demo data as well. Go to web.qvinci.com to try out the act. Feel free to ask any questions via chat. Looks like we're back up and running. Question came in just regarding pricing. Is not by user. That is correct. We do not charge by user. The solution allows for unlimited users. We charge based on number of what we call locations in the that you're syncing in the application. Again, location could either be from a single file. A location could be a class, depending on how you are syncing with Qvinci. Our pricing does, it's $149.95 per location per year, or $14.95, per location per month. There is a bit of a savings to go with annual billing to 5 level, but again, it allows for unlimited users and user permissions. Again, as discussed earlier, are defined as well, so that again, if I'm just the Austin location owner, I only see Austin. So the automated sync. So question came in about the automated syncing process. With QuickBooks Online and with Xero, those sync automatically every night at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. So nobody has to be logged in those applications. So at 2 a.m. every night, we're going to sync with those applications. Now with QBOM and Xero, if I know for sure with QBO, if you wanted to sync more frequently, you can trigger a manual sync, like I believe once per hour. If you just entered some information, you want that data to come across to Qvinci, you can do it as frequently as one time per hour. With QB Desktop, there is a Qvinci Sync app that has to be installed where QuickBooks is installed, and the way the syncing typically works with that is, first time during that day that a contributor to the file has the file open, and they are also connected to the internet, then it will just sync in the background. So taking a lot of the ease off of a franchisee having to remember to submit the information or having to compile the information and send it your way, however it's happening today via, if they're doing it via fax, via email, mail, hand delivering, let's eliminate all that. Let's just, let's really automate that process as well. Another question about what we sync. So again, we're a summary financial reporting solution, and we are going to bring in all the financial data. But what we don't do, we don't bring anything that's any fraud-sensitive information. So, Social Security numbers, credit card numbers, things along those lines. Anything that could be, possibly could create a fraud, sensitive scenario. We do not bring that kind of data into Q. Have any other questions this afternoon? Question came across if we do offer any kind of currency conversion. Yes, we do with QuickBooks Desktop. Currently with QuickBooks Desktop only. We actually do work with some clients that maybe their home currency is U.S. dollars, but they may have some locations that are outside the U.S. that within their own QuickBooks application, they're utilizing the currency native to the country in which they reside. So if they are using a QuickBooks Desktop solution, then when those files sync with Qvinci, we can convert those to the U.S. dollar. Now, the home currency does not have to be U.S. dollar. If your home currency is a Canadian dollar or some other currency, and you want currency that to be your your primary reporting currency, then your other locations that may be out of your home country, if they are using a QuickBooks desktop solution, that we can utilize currency conversion when those files are being synced. another question regarding the standard chart of accounts. So again, we do have, as mentioned, very, it's key to use that from an account mapping standpoint, again, to really consolidate your P&L to rent versus lease versus office rent. Let's get those all into a single line item. You can utilize one of the templates that we've created and defined within our application, but if you do have your own that you've defined for your organization, by all means provide that to us in Excel format, and we'll get that imported for you so that your locations are following the standard chart of accounts. Any other questions? I think we're good. I do want to apologize for the network outage that occurred right in the middle of today's presentation. As mentioned, each of you will get an email from us with the link to this particular webinar. It is being recorded. It will also be end up on our website here in the near future as well. And I know we have some future webinars that are coming up. By all means, feel free to reach out and register for those. But if you'd like kind of a more in-depth one-on-one just for you and your organization, we can provide that as well. Of course, ways to contact us. You've got sales@qvinci.com. For our website as well. Our phone number 512-637-7337 will get to us as well. I do want to thank each of you for taking time for today's call. Again, I apologize for the little hiccup we had right in the middle of it, but please do enjoy the rest of your day. And if you are here in the States, also please enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday that's coming up this week. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.